Welcome back, guys. It's JJ. Somebody said I didn't do a real review on it, so back to the 104, and it gives me an excuse to play the 104 again. So we're going to talk about it a little more in depth. There's not too much to say about it. Very good jet, goes fast, can't turn, but we'll kind of walk you through it a little bit. So we'll start with our air-to-air. Well, it's multi-purpose, but we'll go through it. So the best setup to use out of this, if you're a newer player to jets, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, go ahead and use the 6 AIM 9Ps. If you've used missiles before, this is quite similar. The missiles don't turn too well, so you still either want to have a decent angle to where you're firing just on the edge of that reticle, or, be directly behind them. I've done plenty of top downs where they seem to turn better than they should. So maybe that's just a bug right now. But for ease of play, 6 AIM 9Ps. It says, lock range 5.5, launch range 18 kilometers. You really want to be within that 3 kilometer range. So if you've been playing the 9.0, 10.0 BR area, you'll be very used to missiles of this type, being within that range to launch them. They work great. They're not all aspect, which you really don't need all aspect. Even if you're head-onning people, it's relatively hard to hit with. Radar missiles are a different story. We'll get into that later. Now, in this setup, you can actually have the Vulcan. It's a good cannon. It's a little hard to aim because the maneuverability of the aircraft is just not great. And it's more of like if you swoop in behind somebody, they flared a missile, but you're under a kilometer, maybe 1.2 away from them, then you can launch this. Not launch, but fire this, get some hits in and go with it. Now, that's going to be part of our air-to-air stuff. So don't use your AIM 9Bs. This is like if you were 9.0. I mean, 10Gs, they're horrible missiles. Don't worry about them. Now, unfortunately, to use the radar missiles, you cannot take the Gatling gun. So I don't consider that too big of a problem. My favorite setup right now is running 4 AIM 9Ps and 2 of the radar missiles. For this video, I'm probably just going to run the 6 of the AIM 9Ps. Just for if newer players are picking it up, it's a lot easier to use. There's some finicky stuff with radar locking that you have to worry about and look at. I know that says launch range 50 kilometers. It's not going 50 kilometers. It's got a guidance time of 40 seconds, and they do tend to explode if they lose their lock. So don't run that for right now. Ground pounding, you've got rockets, you got your Zunis, you got your Mighty Mouses. And ground RB, especially in this jet, you're really not going to be ground pounding that much. I mean, you do have some big bombs here, 3 1,000 pounders. If you want to do some ground pounding, take a single 1,000-pound bomb in the center and 2 of your napalm bombs. It's enough to kill a base, give you some points, and I think you can still carry like 4 missiles at that point, or a couple missiles at least. So it's not that useful as a ground pounder. Now, you can use it if you're just looking to get some extra SL, because I think they've modified base bombing again, and I've noticed you can get a lot of SL out of it. But enough on that. Let's go to the stat card. First thing you need to notice is the speed. You can outrun most things, and you can outrun missiles if you're going in a straight line and your speed is above about 1100. It tends to rip its wings at about 1500 in a straight line, getting close to 1600. If you're in a dive going down, maybe tap your air brake or turn off your afterburner. The problem with turning off your afterburner is you're not going to be able to pull your nose up as quickly. Whereas you're playing in MiGs, turn off the afterburner. It feels like you get a little bit more maneuverability. In this, you want to keep the afterburner going unless you're flaring. So if you're going to flare, if this thing does run hot, they will lock you with an IR missile instantly. Turn your throttle off or turn it down from afterburner just 100%, then pop your flare. Now this thing gets 60 flares roughly, I think it is, and it's wonderful. Now I run reinforced right now. I don't run mixed on this one just because if there's a radar missile in this thing, it's kind of hard to dodge with. You basically have to go nose down 90 degrees and pray you're fast enough it doesn't hit you. It does not turn at all. Look at that. Turn time, 34 seconds. That's when I prefer to go in the vertical and go back down. One, because, get on this point in a second, your energy retention. But yeah, you're not going to be turning or turn fighting. You can kind of get behind people before you speed past them, get some shots off with your cannon or launch a missile or two, then go right back up. So, on the speed and the energy retention, you can go into a straight vertical and you will hit 5 or 6 kilometers, I mean 5 or 6K altitude really quick. So you'll never be at the altitude disadvantage. People are going to try to follow you up. You can just kind of spiral just a little bit, and they're going to stall out before you. Now, this is like playing, if you're a prop player going to Jets and you get this, best way to do it is you're playing a 109 that cannot turn, but it goes extremely fast. So you want to use that vertical loop versus trying to turn with it with that energy retention. Turns very slowly. So enough of that. I've dragged that on a little bit. This is the real review on it. Let's go with it. We're going to run 6A9. Oh, let's see here. Am I running my radar missiles? I apologize, guys. You know what? Yeah, we'll stick with this one right here. 6A9Ps in the gun. We are at a 10.7 battle rating. You're going to see a lot of 10.0, 10.3, 10.7 games. You will see some 11.0 and 11.3 games, unfortunately. You're just kind of at that tier, but there's still so many lower tier premiums right now. The 9.7 hole, I have been sucked out into that. And you just kind of have pick of the litter who you want to kill, especially things without flares. As far as your opponents, anything that can go as fast as you, I think some of the Mirages can go faster than you or keep up with it. F-14s, F-16s, of course. You will see MiG-23s, all the top tier stuff, which hopefully you won't get too many of. Generally, it's like 1 out of 10 games I'll get a top tier. Looks like we got an 11.0 or 11.3 area, some F5Cs, so those are 10.0. Yeah, we're not in a bad spot. We are to worry about radar missiles, unfortunately, but that's nature of the beast. So we're just going to play to our strengths, and that is climbing. I've said it a couple times before. Go just below 30 right there on your altitude, and just let it climb. Generally being a higher tier game, F-14 missiles, things of that nature, but we should be alright. Should be. This is either going to be a very quick match, or at least a decent one. I mean, this is amazing. So we have a friendly locking us for some reason. Your main strength in this jet is your speed. Granted, you have very good missiles for what it is, but your main strength is its speed. Now, picking this jet up, if you've already got the Italian tech tree mostly unlocked, don't worry about picking it up. It's the same as the tech tree variant. If you don't, then you can get yourself a premium grinder that will do relatively well. And it's at least fun, in my eyes. You're going to climb high, which apparently there's probably an F-16 up here with us, getting that ping from over there. But you want to climb high, search for targets below you, boom and zoom. So that was probably a radar missile right there. So I'm going to turn away. That was a lock, so turn our 90 degrees roughly. And see, we cannot turn whatsoever. Just extremely hard to turn with. Get our speed up a little bit. There's an F1G. It should be enough of that radar missile to slow down so we can turn and not have to really worry about it. FG1, it's going relatively fast. I really don't want to dive on him without seeing what's behind him. Let's see here, F4EJ, he radar missiled a little too close. That one might hit him. Nope. He was a doomed man. We definitely made a good choice not going down there. We're a little bit too high up. I know there's probably an F-16 up here with us. Got our buddy Tornado. Now, I don't have Keen Vision Max on this guy. It's a level 21, 22 crew at this point. I do have the G-Force and the Stamina almost maxed out, so... F5s. Oh, we have got a glorious thing to pick from. Let's go with the 2 down here. They're going to be distracted by the F4EJ. They're trying to get him. I'm not going to lock him just yet. There's another guy coming there. He's turning, so if we can get a lock on this guy, we'll take it. Nope. They're going to turn out, which they should be doing. They're not going vertical with me. There's another F5 right there, so we're going to try to go with him. There's something coming up behind me. Hitting the wrong key for flares. I say behind me, I'm just watching my... Yep, there he is. Whew. Good news is we're way faster than him. He's probably going to turn, try to come back at us. Yep. Yeah, I'm not paying attention. If he doesn't flare, that will be a kill. That F5 is locking us, which is alright. He broke off for some reason, which is advantageous for us. And that may be a radar missile. Nope. Was not a radar missile. As the UK Phantom. Still a very good aircraft, just... It's a Phantom. There's nothing really wrong with them. They just don't have the flight performance. They definitely do have the weapons, though. I will say that. Is he not going to see this? Kill number 2. The F5's still trying to follow us, but we're way too fast. So you can actually just disengage from the fights that you want to. J-35X, gonna try to chase us. If you can notice, I'm pulling back on the throttle, getting rid of my afterburner, and flaring. And we have so many flares that we really don't have to worry about him. Now, if he chases us, there's not much we can do. We don't want to go in the vertical with this guy right now at the speeds we're at. So, that was what, 2 or 3 of his missiles? We're just going to keep slowly pulling away from him. And that's our advantage. That's our strength in this aircraft. Speed. Now, we do know he's got 6 relatively good missiles, so we're just going to keep pulling away. Hopefully he gets bored and breaks away. He's trying to get some altitude. That's quite alright. What we're doing right now is we're basically wasting both of our time. He wants the kill. I want the kill. He's diving down to gain some speed, but I'm in a starfighter, so that's really not going to help. So he's pulling off. Now, what he just did there was burn a ton of speed to turn like that. We can get right back on his tail, and we know he has limited flares. They have 12 large flares. Basically can flare off any missile, but limited. Very, very limited. So we're down. I'm the last one left alive. Unfortunately, I still have 4 missiles. We're not going to drag this match out. Do I have an F5? Oh, he's able to land. Okay, F5. So we're not alone. We're not alone. Just looking for him with my radar. He is relatively fast, but we are faster. He probably RTB'd. Which we'll be doing the same momentarily. As you can notice, our fuel's getting a little low, but I would like to go over and see if I can get that other F5 over here. Make it an even match. So he's chasing to the base. Checking behind me for missiles. He's probably going to get Roland. Ooh. Both of them over here. If we can knock out 2 of them, this game will be in the bag. We want a little bit of altitude. So the smart F5, no, he's breaking away. Burning flares, which is good. One down by the Roland. It's probably going to be 2. He's way too close to airfield, way too low. He's got lots of missiles coming. He's burning flares. We will chase him if he dives back down. He's doing his best to get our buddy. He's not noticing us, so he is tunnel visioned. Our friendly's going to go down. But he's in a horrible spot. Come on, lock. Go on the vertical. Saw that missile coming. we're probably going to die here, but we gave it our all. Wow. Aiming is not on your side today, buddy. Playing the tail game. I am a ton faster than him. Nothing he can do about it. Took a few hits, but we do need to RTB relatively quickly. That J35 is still somewhere around here. So we're just going to RTB as quickly as we can, get some more fuel, reload missiles, and just keep going. He's somewhere below us. He's probably going back to base. We need to go ahead and do the same. They're probably going to hang around the base. Nope. Yep. We are now 3-1. That's all right. We'll take those odds. We're going to go ahead and kill all of our speed. Kill the engine just in case there's an IR missile trying to come into us. And, whoa, we're out of countermeasures. I did not notice that, so really good thing we're going back. And I'm going to swap my loadouts for radar missiles. Ooh. If I don't kill myself. That could have been bad, y'all. That could have been so bad. Don't have a shoot, so we're just going to spam our cannon, slow us down. And if you notice, we got 1 minute and 35 seconds till the target changes. Now, slimy tactic would be to hit the letter J after we repaired and rearmed, and waste that. But we're not necessarily going to do that. Like I said, I don't have a high-level crew on this thing, so it's going to take us a while to repair. So it's 3 to me. We know there's a J35 at least, and we know there's 2 F5Cs. The F5Cs I'm not too worried about. We can outrun them. We can get away from them. The J35 knows he can outmaneuver us. So a radar missile is what I'm going to hit them with. If I can get the lock, maintain it, and it takes about 2 seconds for that missile to really get going. So let's go swap our loadout. Kill a little bit of time there, and no, we'll take mixed. No, we'll keep flares reinforced because I don't think anybody else has radar missiles. So he's RTBing. Sounds like somebody's diving on the airfield. You can hear missiles going off. Yep. That is another one down. It is 2-1. Never. How is no? I'm active on the team. Gaijin, why? I am active. I don't know if the J35's around. We know it's another F5C down, so we're just gonna climb at a relatively lower pace. So, aim 9Ps first. If they're up high like this, our radar missiles will do some work. Got fuel again. We know he's RTBing. And the J35 got us. It happens. But it cost him the game. Oh, it cost us the game. But that's how you generally play it. I lived a lot longer than I should have. Just knowing what you're fighting against and how to fight against them. Which in this plane is going to be speed. Probably some things I could have done differently to try to swing it in our favor. They were hanging around the airfield, which is kind of a meh thing to do. But hey, that's the game. I got first place somehow. Typical jet game, we lost, 7 people at the very beginning. No kills. Technically 8 with no kills. That's how your jet matches generally go. If you're a newer player, they'll be over relatively quickly. That's one of the rare, longer games. And, of course, we got a ton of RP we need to spend on something. And I'm burning through the tech tree relatively quickly. I had picked up the air yet, but you need a expert crew. You need to be level 35 before you can expert. And look at that, level 21. So it's a great jet, I think. Relatively easy to play. Knowing what you're playing against and how to avoid the enemy jets and what weapons they have, that's the hard part. Like that J35X, he went for me at the very beginning, chased me, which is what he needed to do because I've got a lot of kills on them. Hence why I bring radar missiles because they're generally not going to have chaff. A lot of the F5Cs, they will have flares but not chaff. Avoid the A10s and AV8s because they'll just run mixed and they have a ton of flares. But this is my real review for it. As somebody was saying, I didn't do a real review, so this is it. Great jet. I'd say if you didn't have the one in the tech tree already, if you don't have this one, I'd say it's worth a pickup. But if you're already down to rank 6, I wouldn't worry about buying it. It's going to make rank 7 a little bit easier to grind. It would be cheaper to go ahead and put a talisman here, grind out your F-16, unless you're trying to go for the tornado. That's my 2 cents on it. It's a great pickup. To me, it's fun. A little bit slower paced gameplay for it, but being able to disengage and re-engage at your own, your own pace is really enjoyable. So for people that are brand new to the jet game, they're new to War Thunder, and they want a top tier jet, this is probably a little bit of a safer bet to go with because you really don't want a brand new player jumping into MiG-23 ML, locking people just off the runway, killing them with missiles, which does happen, and then not knowing the swept wing mechanic, notching mechanics, things of that nature. But that's a thing for a different story. Like I said, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's definitely fast, and I like the play style. So, till next time, y'all have a good one.